3 agility drills that can help improve your ability to sidestep or just plain wise just change direction in any type of sport. So maybe you know that I play rugby. I increased a lot of my ability for changing direction, something I never really had a lot of natural talent for necessarily. Training for the last 6 to 8 years for specifically that, being able to change direction really quick, and being explosive, having a good acceleration, and using that as a tool in my toolbox in rugby. This is a topic that I'm really passionate about, and really like to make a lot of videos on this topic because I know a lot of people who I work with always ask me about how to do this, a lot of the athletes, and I would love to help. And I think there's a lot of information out there, either one, overcomplicating it, or really making it too simple in a sense that I don't think it will ever develop any spectacular amount of change of direction ability. A lot of the stuff that I see a lot of people suggesting on Instagram is simply stuff that you do in the gym, which to me is quite laughable. I think that honestly, this is something that you will generally just develop on the field. Maybe some general physical preparation could add a bit of help, but honestly, doing a certain amount of plyometrics that just look a bit like changing direction, yeah, it could help, but that's not going to make you an athlete that can change direction or sidestep really good. I really doubt it. And I think there's a lot of people you would find who have never done any of that and say are some of the best athletes ever to juke, sidestep, or just change direction, whatever you want to call that. Even less the gym work that a lot of people suggest is the thing that you need to do. So yes, those stuff can help, but I think a lot of people are lost in that they are always looking for the answer in the gym. It is not there. If you want to be better at this, you're going to go to the field, you're going to play a lot of games, and you're going to work with someone else, and you're going to have to work with something else that you need to react to, another person like a defender or something. That is the cream of the crop. You need to play a lot of games. So for me, that would be touch rugby, which I play a lot. That's something that developed it a lot for me. The constraint outside of real rugby where it's tackling is that you can only get touched. So you need to avoid a person so much more than you necessarily need to do in rugby. So it's a really extreme constraint. Thus, it helps you to avoid someone, to evade someone. With that, a lot of drills, a lot of small-sided games where you are reacting to someone else or other people is also the best. However, this video, I want to break down in chunks this theme of agility, sidestepping. I want to break it down in chunks. So for today's video, I'm just going to give you 3 drills that you can do that will really help you improve your change of direction ability and sidestepping. Take note, as I just said, these drills are drills you perform alone. Essentially like sprinting, getting faster, you need to train fast. You need to run fast to get faster. And the same applies for this. You need to be changing direction a lot. You need to be cutting sharp edges and turning really quick, slowing down and accelerating again. That is basically what you need to practice. I know a lot of people fall out of that boat because they think maybe it's something that you just have. It's not. It's 100% something you can develop and get better at. So these drills are really easy drills. Maybe they look really simple. I think they can help you in many aspects of changing direction and getting better at it. I believe also that in my career, I've seen a lot of times where these drills actually show itself in my performance. I'm not a big fan of always just taking stuff and saying, hey, look at this drill, I made this drill. These drills are stuff that I did with my dad a lot when I grew up. He was obviously someone that really helped me to get better at this stuff. And I obviously changed a few stuff as I went along. But essentially, you see a lot of this type of work replicating itself in your performance as well. Maybe in a really similar fashion, or maybe just in a slight way in how you change direction, how you drop your height. But yeah, without wasting any more time, here we go. 3 drills you can do alone for agility to help you sidestep better, juke better, and be a better athlete. For this first one, we have one of my favorites. I call this one the figure 8 drill. So I'm just going to move this over to a video where I have explained this that is on my YouTube, and let me explain it to you. This is the figure 8 drill. It's a agility drill. Basically this drill is packed out 4x4. You can use cones, you can use balls, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to quickly show you how to do it. So basically the figure 8 drill is because you run a type of a figure 8. So when you start on the right side or on the left side, you will always run to the ball or cone across from you. So it's easy, I'm just going to walk it through for you. So we go straight, imagine a line going through, pulling it back, figure around here, and back to the opposite cone where you, the opposite cone from where you started. Same thing if you would start from this side, run to there, around again, and to the opposite side from where you started. I'm going to do it quite quick now and show you how more or less to do it when you go around the cones. Some pointers for the figure 8 drill is the following. Going around the corners, try not to do any pre-calculated moves, trying to juke hard into the ground, stepping your leg out to the ground. Try and go as naturally as possible around the cone or block or ball, whatever you use to mark. Go as naturally as possible around that. Whether that means going with a lot of small steps, whatever feels right, how to get as fast as possible around that corner. Try and do that. Try not to go to a very unnatural feeling of trying to plant your foot into the ground and then just move in one direction. For me, that makes you lose a lot of speed. A lot of people have this idea of practicing a side step, so you want to get that. Only thing I need you to focus on when doing this is dropping your height when you go around corners. Get lower and go around. That is a good thing to focus on. For this thing, I'll maybe do about 4 to 6 reps, 3 on each side, so 3 from different sides of the corner that you can do. Bonus, if you want to turn this into a bit of a conditioning thing, you can work like for maybe 1 rep, rest 30 seconds and go again. It's a nice little conditioning thing as well, very anaerobic based. Nice little leg burner as well. But essentially I just use it just as normal sprints, so you can rest a lot in between as well. That's just something different. I think this one is really beneficial for your something I like to call chaotic based agility work, where you have to really slow down, drop height really quick. It's not something that's pre-planned. It's not a pre-planned agility, but it's more about you seeing someone and you try to move out of that way as quick as possible. You try to get low. You're trying to work around corners. Maybe after you even have beaten a player, it's getting around a corner, trying to get away from cross defense. This is that type of drill that I like. This is why I essentially really like this drill. Next, we have curve sprints. Okay, so this is how to pack out the curve sprinting drill. So you want to start on a normal line. They have to put out a cone for it. We don't have cones here, so we're just going to use rugby balls. So all you have to do is walk 5 meters out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then take out 1 step to the left or right, whichever side you want to start on. So it's 1 step, put your ball there, and come back to the middle mark where you were. Then go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take 1 step out, put your ball right there, and come back on the middle line again. And repeat that thing for 20 meters for the beginning. The next video is going to show how you would do the curve sprinting. The drill is not supposed to be cutting around the edges, but just swerving around them. So for the curve sprints, this is something that's a bit different maybe in a game, but this is where you are hitting more of your top speed and you just want to change direction. You don't want to really slow down as much as the figure 8 drill and completely change direction in a 180-degree fashion or maybe a 90-degree fashion, but only slightly. Therefore, so when you do this drill, I want you to focus on really leaning, because it's really short amounts of turns that you do. It's not really a far turn. It's really only, like you see in the video, to make it there, only step 1 meter outside. So you really only want to lean into your corners. These are specifically really good if you've had that break, you are through, and you're moving around a player and you really need to just turn back, or you just want to change direction slightly while not losing any speed. This is that drill, and that's also a really big part of agility and being good at changing your direction slightly without losing any speed. The next one is very similar to the curve sprinting drill, nothing much different. This is just a different way of doing that one. Essentially, I call half a circle sprint, or half circle sprint, half moon sprint, whatever you want to call it. Essentially, you're just going to run a straight line for 5 to 10 meters. You'll accelerate, and you'll give one little step out, and then you're going to run around that cone, or the circle line, and come back into the line. Essentially, these curve sprints that you do is teaching you to be fast and moving in a fashion that is not linear and losing the least amount of speed possible. This is different to the curve sprint because obviously you don't have these consecutive turns. You just have one big turn. And honestly, you'll be surprised how much more similar this is to true chaotic sport sprinting than linear sprints. Obviously, because the sports are more chaotic and you are constantly almost running everything except linear. So that is why this is important. I still have a lot of drills. I still have a lot of different stuff you can do with partners. So stay tuned on this channel if you want to see more stuff. In the next week, I'll post different ones, or maybe just post a few games you can do. Agility games to develop a side step, develop good change of direction. If you have a partner or a few friends that you want to train it with, I'll drop that video as soon as possible. And there'll be a lot more agility talk to help you develop a great side step and everything in the later months.